Yeah.
Hi everybody, today I'm at Kingsgate, which is between Broadstairs and Margate. Technically it comes under Broadstairs, and behind me I've just taken some footage of is Folly. I was trying to relate to the average folly that I did on a previous video, so go check that one out. And we're going to take you for a look around, and hopefully you really like it, because it's amazing today. And we've backed onto a golf course, which is really odd but kind of cool, I guess. So yeah, come along with us. See you later.
Okay, so as stated on the subtitles, this is inside the Folly. As you can see, it's sort of semi-large. The idea is it's meant to look like the impression of a castle. So, although without a roof, kind of. It looks very ruinous as well. You can get into it via either going through to the golf course, or there's a little window there where the camera's pointing to now that you can just sort of walk inside. And then what the camera's doing, there's like a little stone structure that I'm just sort of walking around. Almost looks like a fire pit, a stone sort of fire pit. And the good thing about it is it's really well maintained, so it's actually, there's no litter or rubbish around there. And as we're going out, the golf course is straight ahead, which you can see a few golfers in the corner. And then as the camera pans round, you can sort of see the extent of the Folly itself. Quite different to the Erridge one that I've done. Obviously they were more two towers really. This is more of like a sort of flattish, sort of semi-sized castle, I guess you could sort of say. And yeah, so that's what it looks like. Okay, so this is the view that we had as we were heading down towards Kingsgate Bay. So behind us was the Castle Folly, and then you can. This is the main path that actually takes you right down to Kingsgate Bay itself. We were really lucky. We had a fantastic day weather-wise. It was a sort of really the first starts of spring. Quite misty and foggy on top of the cliff itself. Just a fantastic view all in all. In this next clip you will see, this is where we're about halfway down. To our left we've gone past a pub called the Captain Bligh, which is a really nice pub actually, to be honest. Again, it's got some great views, so it's always a good little stopping point if you want to just sort of stop for like just a quick drink or like something to eat. And again, so we're directly in the middle of the bay really, looking towards the sea, and obviously this is how far high we are up on the cliff itself. And like this is as we're going down now, so we're going down, and this is the first signpost that we sort of information that you come across, which is Kingsgate and Jos Bay, and it talks about the wildlife and the marine life as well. So great if you've got a kid. And then the next clip that you'll come across, in this clip itself, we're going to be walking down the steps towards Kingsgate into the bay itself now, and on the left there's a sign that tells you about the tidal range as well, which is obviously really important because you don't want to get sort of caught out, especially on the narrow parts of the bay when the tide's sort of starting to come in. And as you can see, as we get slowly descending the steps, we start to see that it's all sandy, really lovely sandy beach, and most of Thanet coastline is actually sandy from Margate onwards, really. So you've got Kingsgate Bay, Jos Bay, Botany Bay, all these types of bays have got sand on them, and obviously this is where we reached the flat part of it, and it's where you're looking across. In the next clip you'll see, this is a really interesting clip actually. This is from Jos Bay we're in now. We've sort of gone to the end of our walk actually, we're sort of doing this in reverse, and then we're going to be heading back down to Kingsgate Bay itself. And in there, that little entrance that you'll see, and there's a gap in the fence, and you can actually crawl through that, and there's some steps that you walk up, and you can actually sort of potentially get up. We never actually sort of went all the way through actually, because we weren't really prepared to sort of see something like that, to be honest. Like I said, it was just a random day out that we had. I always wanted to go and see Kingsgate Bay. I'd heard some really lovely things about it, and so we're going to check that out next time. That might be another video for a future thing. So yeah, and this is me in a minute just talking about Jos Bay itself, so here we go.
This is Jos Bay. We're now walking back actually. We'll do it in reverse really, because didn't really know how far we were going to go down, but it's right next to Kingsgate, and as you can see, must be amazing in summertime. There's like one of those old lifeguard things that you see in Baywatch, except without Pamlands and running and chasing, which would be a shame. So they're probably just a couple of homeless people instead. Anyway, what I really like about this place is it's all sand, which is cool. So it's really nice because it means you can just chill out and stuff, and because it's sandy it's pretty cool. So, you know, roll on summertime. We're in pretty much the first day of spring really, I'd say. So pretty fun. So yeah, cool. See you in a minute.
Okay, so in this bit, this is the corner of Jos Bay, and then around the corner of that is Kingsgate Bay. So like I said, doing this in reverse, and obviously this is where we're sort of coming across to, and that's the whole picture of the bay there. Again, sandy beach, absolutely gorgeous. Now in this clip we just sort of come around the corner, and then you can just sort of see the top of Kingsgate Castle. You can see the white cliffs basically, they're sort of facing you, and as we're sort of slowly walking down, you'll start to see something really interesting, which is actually amazing when you're actually there to sort of see it, scale wise and height wise. But like I said, this is still part of the bay itself, and as we go into the next bit, which is just about to go now, yeah, cool. So this is the next bit. This is apparently this is the castle's on top of this structure, and it is incredibly big, very noisy with seagulls, as you'll sort of see. I'm going to talk a bit about it in some of the next later clips coming up. But absolutely fascinating. It sort of takes your breath away when you first see it. And this bay actually, when we were there, actually reminds us really heavily of if you were to sort of go down to Cornwall and see those like little inlet bays. It's very reminiscent of that. But obviously to know that it's in Kent is even more interesting and fascinating, really, because we're at that east tip, northeasterly tip of Kent, and like I said, it's just surrounded by these little pockets of bays itself. But this next clip is going to come up. This is of me chatting more about it, so enjoy.
Go on then.
Yeah. So we're at Kingsgate Bay, and underneath us is a folly, natural, which is taken footage of. And then above you is Kingsgate Castle, which is now being turned into some flats and stuff. And the reason why we got the name Kingsgate is because apparently it was where King Charles II landed when he was going to take over the throne. Apparently, I may have got that wrong, I'm sorry if I did. Yeah, so what I need to clarify just before we do anything else is this amazing little bay, which is sort of situated again between Broadstairs and Margate, which is really good. And yeah, so I think everybody should come down here and check it out and party with me. Oh yeah, and the thing you're hearing in the background, which sounds really dodgy, is because there's seagulls that have nested incredibly right in the crevasses underneath the part of the building itself, and they're well noisy. So yeah, come check it out. Bye.
Okay, so in this clip, this is amazing. This is one of the caves slash tunnels that is dotted around the whole of Thanet coastline anyway. But this one's interesting because you can get to it at ground height. Most of the other tunnels and cave systems that you can get to, you'd need a ladder, or you'd need somebody to sort of guide you around. You'd need to have some sort of local expertise around the area. But this one's really good because you can actually get to it from ground level. As you can imagine, it has a very distinctively dodgy odour, shall we say, as you go in there. I'm not going to elaborate on that anymore, but you get the idea. And right in front of you, you can see that there's some sort of large rocks, or boulders, I suppose you could sort of say, and that's really as far as the wall goes. So you can't get any further into it. But it's a fascinating little checkout sort of spot. I'm sure it's been, I'm sure a lot of people have probably explored that one really extensively. Later on in the video, I sort of just talk about the actual system itself and some more interesting bits, but as you can see, it sort of goes further and further inside. And then you'll see that we'll turn around in a minute and then sort of start to head back out. But you get to see it's actually goes quite dark in there actually, and we actually had to use the mobile phone as some torchlight. And this is us just sort of heading out, and then you'll get to see me chat a little bit more about it in a minute. So here we go.
That's just one of many caves that is surrounded on Kingsgate Bay. There used to be part of smuggling rings that were around here. In fact, we're not that far from Botany Bay, I think, which is around the other side. Which you're going to sort of walk around briefly. Obviously there was the infamous Battle of Botany Bay, which is a smugglers' battle, which is pretty much a really important battle that actually sort of determined smugglers and how we perceive them. And as you can see, there's another little cave up there. If I point my finger to it, which is there, but we can't get in that one because we need a ladder. We don't have one. And there's another one up the side there as well. So if you do come down here and you want to check them out, grab a ladder, just go for it. Knock yourself out, it should be pretty fun. I wonder what I could hear. This is another little cave. Oh. Yeah, look. Up there. That's the other tunnel. Or one of the cave systems, but I don't think, obviously you can't get to that one, but I know that it's all completely, most of it's sort of semi-hollowed out. We can't go any further in that one, because there's a sign that says rockfall, and to be honest, yeah, you can see that. So, don't really want to risk it today, to be honest. Final part of the little mini video of my day out at Kingsgate Bay, and this is the sort of famous part of Kingsgate Bay that Google. Sorry, it's been seagulls. There's lots of seagulls everywhere. Yeah, this is the part that you can type in Kingsgate Bay. You'll see it's like a little arch into the cliffs, which is absolutely incredible. So, like I said, please come down here, check it out, have some fun. Yeah, do rock crawling as well. It's great for kids. And have a fantastic time out. See you later, guys. Bye.